Good morning. You're watching the breaking news show right here on CNN News 18. My name is Toya Singh and we are starting the day by taking a look at the country's top story right now. One that has been on our lips over the last few days. Stand-up comedian Kunal Kamra at the eye of a storm over remarks he made. These were actually part of a comedy set. Remember, he's known for his astute, acerbic, sometimes observational humor. And a joke that he made has been considered quite controversial. This was during a stand-up set of his that he uploaded on YouTube. The joke referred in specific to Eknath Shinde. It referred to Eknath Shinde as a traitor, and it also talked about the larger Maharashtra political scene. In that, it referred to the fact that the NCP, the Shiv Sena have all split into multiple pieces. Now, in the hours since he made those jokes and those videos were seen, there's been a lot of action that has taken place. The Maharashtra government has condemned it. You've had the Minister of State for Home, Yogesh Kadam, inform the Legislative Council that all of Kamra's call detail records and bank account details will be investigated. Authorities are essentially saying they want to see who is the, quote, mastermind behind these remarks. They've also said that they want to understand who's behind this. The BMC has raised parts of the club. That's the remember, the association that organizes housing across Mumbai. They've actually raised parts of the club saying that it's, quote, illegally structured. And Kamra, for his part, remains defiant. He says that there's a problem nationwide. He's essentially said that political interference in artistic expression is taking place, and he has said he's not going to apologize. We're just going to take you to breaking news on this. All right, now the other man right at the center of this storm, that is, of course, the Deputy Chief Minister, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde. He has now remarked, and these are his first comments, remember, ever since Kunal Kamra first made these remarks in that set of his. Eknath Shinde has now said, freedom of speech is there, we understand satire, but there should be a limit. Remember, in his comedy set, Kunal Kamra had referred to Eknath Shinde as a gaddar or a traitor for leaving his own party. Okay, let's just go over to our colleague Yasha to understand more. Yasha, Eknath Shinde's first comments coming in, these comments very similar to what Devendra Fadnavis had said, because even Devendra Fadnavis in his remarks yesterday in the assembly had made this same point, that we do understand freedom of speech, but there needs to be a limit to it. What that limit is, obviously, you know, is a subject of discussion. But just tell us first how you read into this initial response coming in from Eknath Shinde.
Absolutely. In fact, like you already mentioned, this is clearly a debate between freedom of speech and expression and, how much is too much, and which is where this is stance that is being taken by all the three leaders in power, be it Eknath Shinde, be it Devendra Fadnavis, or be it, for that matter, even Ajit Pawar. Now here, of course, when we read into this very statement, while there has clearly been Shiv Sainiks against Kunal Kamra, particularly Shiv Sainiks who consider Eknath Shinde as their leader, and which is where they have they've gone all out, in fact also used abuses against Kunal Kamra. But on the other hand, when you speak of Eknath Shinde, it is his first response in 2 days wherein he's only gone ahead to say that that clearly when it comes to freedom of speech, there's only up to a certain extent that people can exercise this right. And this comes in even as Kunal Kamra last night made his response very clear. In his response yesterday, Kunal Kamra said that when it comes to a leader who's in the position of power, one clearly has to be ready for mockery and questions being asked by people. But he also went ahead to say that he will not apologize come what may, but would also cooperate with the agencies. This even comes as Mumbai Police has issued the first notice to him on the basis of the FIR that was filed. Now here, clearly, considering the fact that Kunal Kamra has laid his grounds clear, saying he is not going to apologize on the grounds that Shiv Sainiks have said that if he does not apologize in 2 days, they will not let him enter Mumbai, and which is where there have been a slew of calls that are being made. In fact, on social media, there were several such calls regarding the calls that Shiv Sainiks made to Kunal Kamra that had gone viral, and which is where now first such instance of response coming in from Eknath Shinde, saying that a line clearly needs to be drawn when it comes to the statements that are being made out in public. But on the other hand, when you speak of all of these statements that are being made, on the other hand, what's also important to note is that opposition leaders have questioned, and this was a stance that was also put forth by Kunal Kamra in his post, was that clearly no names were mentioned here. So why is it that questions are being raised, or why is it the Shiv Sainiks are saying that Kunal Kamra had defamed Eknath Shinde when he clearly did not mention any names? So here clearly war of word continues over by political figures, but also now it almost seems like it's a head-on contest, because clearly Eknath Shinde has responded after the post that was put forth by Kunal Kamra.
Yasha, among all of this, there is a clear crime that's also taken place where you had hordes of people come into the comedy center, break down tables, glasses, and all of this in the hours immediately after that first video went viral. Now, we know the Mumbai police had also lodged a case against certain Shiv Saiниks. We know Shiv Sainiks were detained. What action is taking place there?
So, when you speak of this Shiv Sainiks, of course, there was vandalism that took place at the Habitat, which was a place where this stand-up took place. Now, of course, in their defense, sources have indicated that this very stand-up took place not yesterday, but almost 3 to 4 months back. It was only uploaded on social media on Sunday night. But on the other hand, now that you speak of this very stand that's being taken, vandalism took place at the Habitat, also at the hotel which houses the Habitat, which wherein the studio, that's the Habitat, that was vandalized. Apart from that, the lift area was vandalized, the glass door was vandalized, and several other places wherein the vandalism took place by Shiv Sainiks. Now, when it comes to the Shiv Sainiks, among them was also Rahul Kanal, one of the key leaders in the Shiv Sena, and which is where he was also given a notice, asked to stay at Khar police station, among which there were 11 others who were arrested. Apart from Rahul Kanal, he was also arrested, which made total number of arrests to 12. Now, yesterday when they were produced before the Bandra court, they were immediately sent to the judicial custody, and after which the lawyer applied for their bail and they were given immediate bail. So here clearly the sections of vandalism was such that they were given bail in a day. All of them have walked back home, and which is where after even they walked back home was where we saw a social media uproar over this very statement of Kunal Kamra. In fact, like we've already spoken about, there were several posts, several audio recordings of the calls that these Shiv Sainiks made to Kunal Kamra, using abuses against him and asking him to apologize. But here, clearly Kunal Kamra is firm on his stance that he is not going to apologize, and it is in a way his right and to express whatever he feels like in the political circle. In fact, he's gone ahead to also mention this as a mockery of the whole of the right to freedom of speech and expression.
Okay.